Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question comes to us from the True Stories collection, as in, it actually happened at an event that I was actually judging. Amy exiles Grist with Agatha's soul cauldron to put a +1/+1 counter on her grizzly bears. Can grizzly bears now use Grist's loyalty abilities? Okay, so this is one of those situations that seems like it's going to be super complicated, but it actually turns out to have a very straightforward answer, which is that the cards say Grizzly Bears has those abilities, and nothing in the rules says it can't have or can't use those abilities, so this works out exactly the way Amy would hope. That said, this question does come up a fair bit, because if you don't know the answer going in, there's a few potential things that might make this one appear more difficult than it actually is. For starters, having a Planeswalker with no loyalty counters isn't something that can normally happen. So having something that can activate loyalty abilities just existing on the battlefield with no loyalty counters on it is kind of counterintuitive. Actually, for that matter, Grizzly Bears isn't a Planeswalker, and loyalty is a characteristic that only Planeswalkers can have. So how can Grizzly Bears use loyalty abilities at all? Well, it's true that so far, only Planeswalkers have been printed with a card frame that has that starting loyalty number on it, but the cost to activate a loyalty ability is just to put on or take off the appropriate number of loyalty counters. And you can put on and have any kind of counters on a permanent, regardless of whether they're relevant to any of that permanent's card types. So there's no problem there. You do, of course, have to pay those costs normally. You don't get a pass on that just because Grizzly Bears has an unusual card type, but you certainly can build up to getting to ult that Grizzly Bears once it does have enough loyalty counters on it. Another common question tends to come up when someone tries to activate a Grist ability of two different creatures in the same turn. And again, this is entirely possible. Normally, this is also something that's impossible to do, but all of your creatures with +1/+1 counters on them have those abilities. And if we take a look at this rule, and notice how carefully it's worded so it allows the possibility of non-planeswalkers having loyalty abilities, the Templing team certainly knew what they were doing here. Anyway, the once per turn loyalty ability limit is specifically worded such that you can only activate a loyalty ability if none of that permanent's loyalty abilities have been activated yet that turn. So activating one of the loyalty abilities again is certainly a thing that you can do. As a judge, especially on a channel like this, there's lots of times where I have to tell people that the answer to a question is something completely non-intuitive that sounds like I made it up on the spot. It's nice that most of the questions that aren't specifically contrived to feature interesting rules interactions happen to be relatively straightforward answers like this one, even when the cards involved are a little bit notorious. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.